Wow, Zheng Siwei is retiring at only 27 years old. Just amazing. And I thought this video is going to be slightly different. I just want to share my thoughts on he's retiring, but more importantly, the reason why he's retiring and what I feel we can learn from him. And I admire his decisions, and I completely agree with him 1000%, mainly because I'm a family guy with three kids, so I understand what he's going through. So as you can imagine, Zhang Siwei, Huang, Huang, how do you say how do you say her name? Let me find it so I say it correctly. Where is it? Yeah, Huang Yachong, Huang Yachong. Zheng Siwei and Huang Yachong, they just won the Olympic gold. You know, the epitome of badminton dream. And only 27. Many people will continue to play way after 27 years old. And suddenly, after like being at the top of the world, and now they're retiring. So that has come quite a big shock for me as well. I was hoping to see him in the next Olympic. I mean, um he's only 27 years old, so they're still gonna have plenty of life ahead of him. So health and fitness wise, it's definitely not a problem. Performance wise, they just won Olympic gold, so it's amazing. But if you read his statement, it is so cool that he has decided to do it now. And basically, hopefully, he's making everybody realize that badminton is just a part of life. It is not life itself, it's just part of life. And he is so lucky enough to be in a position to basically say no to competing in badminton, which is a pretty awesome, position to be in. It's a luxury that not many players will have. And I guess as you become more and more famous and more well known and at the top of your games, the more luxury you have when it comes to choices. So to go back, his statements, which I will link in the description below, because the only website that I have found that actually put out his whole entire statement. So essentially, his main reason for retiring is that he wants to spend more time with the family. How cool is that? Imagine you're the number one player in the world and being considered as possibly the greatest mixed double pair to have ever played the games of badminton and dominated the game of mixed double for so long, just won Olympic gold, and suddenly you're just gonna step away from the court. They're just amazing. But that just to show how much he values his family and how much he values the missed opportunity of spending time with his kids and his family for the past however so many years. So one of the things that I think that really struck me in his statement is that he said he married young. He has been with his wife for 12 years, and he feels like their life has only just begun after the Olympic. And I think that statement is just so powerful, because essentially what he's saying is that before that, he has dedicated so much of his time into badminton, and I can only assume that leading up to the Olympic, that whole year of qualifying and training for the Olympic, it must have consumed his time, energy, mental health, like almost 100%. So his wife and his kids probably had to be like left at home, managing themselves. So that's a huge sacrifice. And suddenly, I think anybody who's successful have made sacrifices that none of us mere mortals would ever understand. People like the top, the sporting world, people like the superstar, like actings and music, all those people would have made so much sacrifices that most of us can't even imagine. But we only see their success, we only see their happy faces when they're in front of the camera, but we don't see the behind the scene of it, the struggle, the long hours, the hard work. I've read like blogs of like movie stars. They have to like get up at like 4 a.m. every day. I recently read of like Rebecca Ferguson, in the Mission Impossible. She said essentially with Mission Impossible, you just don't know what scene they're going to shoot every day. So even though she might not have a big part in the movie, she will still have to show up on set every day, not knowing when she would require to be on camera. And there's a lot of sacrifices you do in Zheng Siwei. I have no doubt that he would have had to spend many, many hours on and off court training leading up to the Olympic. And all in the past 12, 15 years, he said he's been in the national team. So it's such a profound statement to say that you've been with the love of your life for 12 years, and yet he felt like his life has only just begun after the Olympics. So as you know, after the Olympic, they haven't participated in any tournaments at all, and the World Tour Finals will be his last tournament. So that'll be the first tournament he has played since the Olympic. And if you look at Zheng Siwei, after the Olympic, she went off to Australia to study English for 10 weeks. And she has said in a statement as well that she felt like for the last few little while, she was not playing badminton for her. She was playing badminton for her country and for her association. So she felt like that time off was what she really needed as well. And when you start reading, like Victor Axelsen just put out a message criticizing the BWF, how the way they handle injury. I didn't realize this, but like top players, they have to commit to play certain number of tournaments. And if they don't, they'll get fined. The top American Bay One or Zheng Bay One, whatever her name, she wrote a really, really sad post about how like she loves her badminton, but as an independent player, it's a lot to juggle on. And dealing with injury and the schedule is massive part of it. And she's saying like she's injured, but she still had to pay her own money to fly to a tournament just to show up to play and do her part to promote the events. How crazy is that? That can't be healthy for her mental state. And yet BWF is putting this in the contract to say, if you want to play at the top levels, we expect you to do all these tournaments, do all this promotion to help to promote BWF. Essentially, BWF is saying, you guys are our money printing machine. If you don't do it, essentially, they stop printing money, we're going to fine you. How can they say that they look after players' health if that's what they're doing to the player? So I think for Zheng Siwei, for him to say that he is valuing his family more and more now is an amazing statement, considering you have just won an Olympic gold. Another few of these statements, which I think is like profound, is this. He said, and I want to bring it up here so that I don't misquote it. A significant reason for stepping away from the international stage is my ultimate life goal, balancing career and family. As you know, I started my family quite young, and we recently welcomed our second child. I mean, one child is busy, two children is a massive, massive step up. We had three, and we know how big of a step up it is from 1 to 2. And when they're at their age of, like, I know at the beginning changing diapers and stuff is pretty tiring, but just even when you change their nappies, you can see the look of relief on their face. You really can. And even at the beginning stage, within the first few weeks, they are just so new to the world. Everything intrigues them, the way they look around, right? And you can see the way they're trying to communicate with you. It's just beautiful, beautiful, precious memories that I know as parents, I appreciate every single one of them. And I'm pretty sure Zheng Siwei would have missed out a lot with his first son. And I probably think his second son is really put into perspective of what he will miss if he continues to play badminton. So it's amazing. And he said, I want to focus on my family now. If I continue competing on the court, I'll inevitably spend more time away from my loved ones. And that is just so, so true. And that's what he said here. My wife and I have been together for 12 years, but our true life together begins only after this Olympic cycles. That's just crazy. So for me, it will be sad to not see him on court and see his powerful smash and he smiles, really. He smiles a lot on court and off court as well. So he's pretty passionate about badminton, passionate about winning, passionate about, like, doing his best. So I'll miss that passion of him. But at the same time, like, I'll be smiling for him every time I don't see him on court, knowing that he is having as equally of a good time, if not more, having his sons on his lap, rolling around with him, laughing at all the goofy things the kid's gonna do. You cannot beat that. You really can't. And I guess, he has achieved his dream now of the Olympic gold, as well as all the other titles that he has won. So it's pretty cool. He said here, I know what I love, what I'm good at, where my goals lie, and the life I want to lead. In terms of my career, I have never been overly attached to it. How amazing it is to say, as a world number one, achieving more titles hold little appeal to me. And honestly, I think, when you look at like a lot of top athletes when they resign, one major reason will be injuries. Like, Rafael Nadal, he hasn't played much in the last few years, and I think his body is telling him now that, like, you just can't compete with all the injuries that he has. Same as like Andy Murray. If it wasn't for his back injury, he probably would play a lot more and probably continue to play a lot more. But injuries, old age, dictates a lot of how long we can do at such an intense level. But when titles, winning, have little interest to you anymore, that's a pretty good sign that it's time to stop. Either be winning title, training and training hard. The idea of getting at 4 or 5 in the morning every day, when that doesn't appeal to you, that's a good time for you to think about stepping back off court, and enjoy different parts of life. And for me, and I think for most of you guys who are watching this video, and most of us out there, we would never be in a position like Zheng Siwei to actually train hard and to win titles. But what we can learn from him is that balance, right? Like, don't stress about badminton. Don't stress about how good you need to be, and especially with your kids as well. Like, I know my children will never become a professional badminton players. We live in New Zealand. The training here is, I mean, it's pretty much non-existent when you compare to, like, like the Southeast Asia countries. There's no way we can compete. If we want to compete, I have to shift my kids, my family, to China and get them whooped every day to get to where they are, where they need to be to compete professionally. And even when you get to that professional level, there'll be a huge amount of stress on you financially and mentally to get up to that level. And from what I've read about how BWF manage and care about their players, I'm pretty much don't want my kids to be exposed to that. And the reality is the money that you earn from badminton is pretty small, unless you're like Victor's and Zheng Siwei, who are like winning everything. You're not making that much money as a professional badminton player. And if you're an independent player, oh my gosh, the stress will be even worse. You need financial backing, you need sponsorship all the time. You need to worry about money all the time. And that can't be nice at all. So what do I want badminton for my kids and for me? For them to play until they're old. Honestly, that's the only thing. Like, when I see players at 60, 70 playing badminton, all I have is admiration for them and jealousy, because I know if for my body to maintain its health to play badminton at 60 years old, that's a huge achievement. Huge. It's not easy. Badminton is such a physically demanding sport that, oh my goodness, to play at 60 years old, that's amazing. So I just want my kids to keep playing. And as long as they play, they will keep improving. And my part is to encourage them to play, make it fun for them to play. And if I can help them to get better, great, right? Because as they get better, they improve the badminton. Essentially, they're unlocking different aspect of badminton. Like if you're a beginner and you're happy to play beginner, it's fine. There are plenty of beginners out there for you to have fun. And you're still going to have so much fun, so much laughter playing. But as you get better, suddenly you start going to sweat more. You start going to learn about smashing and defending, you know, and you probably lose a few games. But then you start improving and you start to enjoy improving. You start to enjoy playing in competition. Maybe you start to enjoy facing harder and harder smash. Or you start to enjoy, you know, being invited into better groups as well. So every stage, I guess every skill level, there's just different kind of enjoyment, really. You know, for me, I know that when I started to get better at badminton, the cool thing was that I was able to be invited to quite a few more groups who are quite at advanced level. So I would love that for my kids. And I know that there was a time when I started my own group and lots of people knew who I was, and it was very easy for me to gather all these top players in our city to come together and just have fun. You know, no rules, no association, no one to tell us off. We could play as late as we want. Sometimes we would bring beer along to drink while we were playing. You know, we laugh at each other, we make jokes, silly jokes at each other. And there's a beauty of when you get good, you know, and people know who you are, and you can organize these things a lot easier. But at the end of the day, I just want my kids to enjoy the beautiful sports of badminton. And I think, you know, I'm going to share this story with like Maylin and Elin just to show them that, hey, you know, even the best player in the world realize that badminton is only a part of their life. It's not everything. It's just a simple part of their life. And for everybody out there, you know, that's what I hope you take from this video. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can. You know, especially for us older people, like being parents and stuff, life is busy, time is precious, and our body is not getting any younger. So if our body is letting us play and we have people to play with and having fun, amazing. If our kids let us play with them and having family bonding time on courts, that's even more amazing. And when your kids, you know, learning and improving and going to sports tournament, enjoy watching them play. Learn to ignore the results and just enjoy and feel privileged of the opportunity to share that beautiful moments with them, watching them play, watching them lose, watching them get upset for losing, watching them wanting to improve and get better and hopefully win here and there, you know. But enjoy every happiness moments that badminton is offering us. And we're lucky that we're not competing like Zheng Siwei. You know, we get to enjoy badminton as part of our life. So yeah, kudos for Zheng Siwei, and I wish him the very best. You know, Zheng Siwei, I hope like one day my badminton channel will blow up to a big enough channels that I get to come and see you, right? And we can have a hit and be friends. That would be so cool, so cool. And you know, my other dream would be like to go and meet Kento Momoto and play with him as well. So you guys have to help me to grow this channel, okay? And then maybe I'll be significant enough in the world of badminton that I get to hang with those guys. But yeah, life, balancing life is probably such an important thing that we have to learn to deal with every day. So kudos to Zheng Siwei. So happy for him. And just wish him the best. And I know how much fun and how much he will enjoy that time off court with his family. So precious. So I hope you enjoy the videos. Let me know what you guys think. You know, were you shocked by his announcement? And I really hope Huang Yachong will find an equally good partner to help her to grow as well. I know that she's getting married as well. So her time, you know, her focus will start to maybe start shifting from badminton as well. So we'll see. But she's an amazing player as well. So you never know. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe. Once again, comment, like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.